Alrighty, folks. In today's psychological lecture, we're going to be talking about be careful what words come out of your mouth. Now, the reason on why this is important specifically is because of the fact that when you have a idea, right, and a thought process in your head, and you repeat out loud why that thought process is happening to you, you have a biased opinion, obviously, because it's your life, right? And it's very important for you not to manipulate yourself through the words that come out of your mouth. All right. So some examples of this, and this is so important. This is probably one of the most important videos I've ever made. And the reason why this is important is because of the fact when you reassure to yourself something. For example, I lost today. Well, I lost because of bad price action. No, you didn't lose because of bad price action, because at the end of the day, you executed and you clicked the button. Well, I'm not profitable because of the fact that I overtrade. No. You are not profitable because you lack the discipline to not overtrade, which means you are an undisciplined person. Well, I'm not X because of Y. This is what we call cope. You guys have been hearing me say and use this word a lot, cope. And you need to be very careful, because if you are coping all of your life and constantly saying something bad is happening to me because of X, Y, and Z, and you end up coping, you'll never, ever, ever progress, because you're never self-reflecting and analyzing with an unbiased opinion. Now, there are people who argue the fact that you cannot self-reflect without an unbiased opinion because it's your own life at the end of the day. I personally counter that idea, and the reason why I say that is because of the fact that I believe the top performing human beings on the planet all have the ability to self-reflect on what individual problems they have. Do you think Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all of these individuals, they can't unbiasedly, right, self-analyze what their problems are? Obviously they can. If they couldn't, they wouldn't have been able to scale and operate such successful businesses. So people will cope within cope and say, well, no, you can't self-reflect or analyze because everything's a biased opinion. Well, that is the case if you have an ego and an inflated ego. You need to get to the point of being able to self-reflect and analyze with the least amount of bias and ego involved with that self-reflection. Majority of you guys self-reflect on a day-to-day basis. Well, why am I unprofitable? Well, I'm unprofitable because price action is bad. That's where you're wrong. You need to start taking into account variable factors, right, that you have control over right now in order to start seeing progression. And you need to start blaming yourself for every problem that you are currently facing as of now. Well, price action's bad. Someone has to be making the money. I'm on a 6-day green streak. Last week, I think every single human being on social media was complaining about price action. Right? I'll post all of the P&Ls on the screen right now. I literally made $800 today. I made like $7,000 or $6,000 last week. And everyone in the world, oh, price action's so bad. Well, they can say that on the sidelines, right? They could all say, oh, well, price action's so bad. That's the reason why I can't find a trade right now. And I'm unprofitable because price action's so bad. That's cope. At the end of the day, that is cope. When you start to self-reflect and say, well, I've been in the position of bad price action before. Well, what did I do previously that was bad? So then I can learn from those lessons and apply it in today's price action. Well, I noticed X and Y and Z set criteria, so now moving forward in these bad probable conditions, I'm going to replicate exactly what I wish I did when I was unprofitable, or not unprofitable, but when I was trading bad price action previously, right? You could say that, or you could just say, well, price action's really bad right now, and I suck at trading, and that's the reason why I'm unprofitable, and I can't see progression. Like, it's so feminine, bro. It's you're such a bitch. That's how I view it. To be honest and quite frank with you guys, anytime I hear a person overly complain about something, no matter what that thing is, I just sit and say, and like, I'm just like, dude, you're such a bitch. You're such a coper and you're such a bitch. And this is exactly how truly successful people view people that are down below saying, oh, well, I haven't made it because of X, Y, and Z set criteria. And I want you guys to realize, when I say these things, I am valid to say these things simply because of the fact that I probably had a worse starting position than you watching this. I was 16 years old and $16,000 in debt to my best friend because I wanted to make trading work out. So now I earned the title, now I'm a profitable day trader, to call all of you guys bitches that just complain and sit there and complain. Because I now understand exactly what is necessary for you to win in all metrics, in terms of day trading, in terms of becoming a profitable day trader, in terms of your psychology, in terms of your discipline. I understand all of these things now. And I just constantly just see people all day long coping. Well, price action sucks right now, that's why I'm unprofitable. Well, I can't stop over trading right now, that's why I'm unprofitable. Well, I can't stop doing this because instead of just trying to figure out the problem, right? You could scream at the top of your lungs like a child and an infant child all day long, or you could sit to yourself and give all the power to yourself to say, well, what are my problems right now? How do I go about fixing them? And then let me alert a person that is actually of value and has made money off day trading. Let me ask him if my plan of attack is actually good. For example, my Discord members, I scream at them constantly about this. They will tell me, Selma, I don't know what to do about this thing. And immediately, the second I read that statement out loud in one of my group calls, I literally start to scream at them. I say, no, that's not how I'm going to teach you. That's not how I'm going to help you. You have to figure out your fucking problems first. Come to me with the solution. I will then review the solution to see if it's actually good in order to actually apply it to your life. Because this is where the mindset shift as a whole is, right? When you can start getting to the point of solving problems as they arise and before they arise, and then also seeking advice from someone who has been through the shoes that you are already in, this is a superpower within itself, right? And this is how you can become very, very efficient at solving problems, especially within day trading, right? You can have that perspective of being able to create solutions very fast, or you can cope and sit there and say, well, the conditions in the marketplace are hard right now. Oh, poor boo-hoo me, like a toddler that just wants his toy. You could sit there and say that and complain, right? Or, matter of fact, you could have just stepped away and not traded. The market changes and adapts to certain things at such a rapid rate, right? 1 week we have the best price action on the face of the planet Earth. The next week we don't. And that is simply just how it works, right? That is the exchange in which you take and you accept when you become a day trader and you want to build longevity within a career inside of day trading. So you need to adapt and be able to have the ability to adapt to said market conditions. Well, I think X. Okay, well, how are the market conditions adapting now in my current stage? Well, I've noticed probable conditions are bad right now, so I need to adapt my model specifically to doing X and Y and Z criteria. Okay, now that I have adapted towards the market conditions, I am now making money. But if you're sitting there, like I mentioned, hopeless and helpless and just coping and trying to Trojan horse, trying to Trojan horse your way out of the problem that you're currently facing, well, then you're never going to see progression. Like I mentioned, this is the most beautiful example I could have possibly gave. Last week, you guys can go open TikTok, look at any creator's TikTok page. Any creator's TikTok page last week. Price action sucks right now. I can't find a trade right now. X, Y, and Z right now. Constant cope just coming out of their mouth. Constant cope, right? Or you can alter, your thought process to just say, okay, conditions aren't good right now. That means I either step away or when I do take a trade, I'm going to lower my contract sizing. Day traders as a whole, I resent day traders so much as a day trader. I can't imagine what the outside perspective of people think of day traders. They're all such weak people. And I'm not saying this to get you aggravated. Oh, you're a weak person. No, I'm not saying it for that reason. I am saying it for the reason to make the decision on if you want to be a weak person or not. Because if you start to stop blaming other external factors that have no correlation with you clicking a button, you then have all the control in your court, The ball is now in your court, and you now have the power in your hands to then be able to see progression when you want to see progression. But if you're sitting there with no power, at all whatsoever, the ball's not in your court, you blame other factors that have no correlation with you clicking a button at the end of the day, and you just cope all day long, It's hard to break past the barrier of seeing progression. You got to think about this. I want you all to think about this. What gives you the highest probable chance of winning? Right? Winning a trade, winning with psychology, winning with over trading, with over leveraging, right? Let's take two people, right? Person one is disciplined every single day with the gym, with his diet, with cleaning up his room. He's in a very clean environment. He's disciplined in all aspects and realms of his life, right? And he doesn't cope. He doesn't sit there and give power to things that don't matter at all about clicking a button and day trading. And then we have person two. Person two blames everything and anyone for all of their individual problems. Well, price action was so bad, that's why I blew my funded account. Well, I can't become a funded trader because X, Y, and Z. Well, this and that, and I'm going to blame this thing, and I'm going to blame that thing. Which out of person one and person two is likely to progress at a faster rate and become profitable faster? Person one, who understands, hey, I have external discipline, I understand my trading strategy because I have the discipline to backtest, forward test, journal every single day, I understand everything about the marketplace, I understand the conditions within the marketplace, and when probable conditions are not in my favor, I am simply not going to execute. And then we have person two that just sits there and copes about every individual problem he is currently facing. I can't find a setup because the conditions are so bad. I can't do this because of X. Or trading is not working out for me because I can't step away. Over trading is my problem. I can't do this. I can't do that. You're spoon feeding yourself cope. You're just eating your own horse shit up constantly. And I'm saying this out of experience because I was that person. I was that person who would sit there and just cope about all my problems and say everything in the world is a scam. No one's a profitable day trader. They're all lying, right? Instead of actually sitting there and blaming myself for the circumstances that I am currently in. And when you start blaming yourself for the problems you have in day trading, whether that be over trading, over leveraging, your trading strategy, your trading model, when you start blaming yourself for these things, well, it's because of my lack of information right now. I don't understand how to day trade, right? Then you have the power, right? The ball is in your court now to fix your problems. But if you're sitting there, hopeless and helpless, blaming every factor that has no correlation with you clicking a button at the end of the day, conditions are bad, so that's why I can't find a trade, and I can't do this, and I keep blowing my accounts, then you'll never progress. And you'll sit there hopeless and helpless. And at the end of the day, if you are person two right now, which I want to say 90 to 95% of you guys are person two, you are just a gambler. You're a glorified gambler at the end of the day. That's what you are, and that's all you are. And like I mentioned, I'm not saying this to get you aggravated at me. Oh, Salman hates me. Salman doesn't like me. No. I am saying this so now you have the power in your hands to change the circumstances you are in. Because at the end of the day, you are in control of your life that you are in right now, right? You have the ability to trade, right? You have the ability to change your trading model if it sucks. You have the ability to step away after one loser. You have the ability to do all of these things. But if you always cope, right? Conditions are bad. That's why I'm unprofitable. This is bad. That's why I suck. This is why I'm not profitable. This is. Instead of self-reflecting and identifying specifically what is exactly leading me to being an unprofitable day trader. Well, I have no discipline in my life. Instead of blaming probable conditions, why don't you start to blame the discipline within your life to not take a trade during low probable conditions? And this is what I originated this even YouTube title off of, right? Your mind and your words manipulate yourself, right? Your mind manipulates you on a day-to-day basis, always. And this is why you've never made progression in day trading. You just imagine you're sitting there, right? There's a wall right in front of you. And you just keep running head on into that wall, falling on the floor, getting back up, and instead of changing your running route, right? Instead of taking 3 steps to the left to then run through the wall, you then get back up. Instead of taking that 2 steps, you just run in the same trajectory. Head on, face first, fall on the floor, get back up, head on, face first, fall on the floor, get back up, right? So I like you guys having the relentless action taking of just saying, I'm going to continue showing up every single day. That's a beautiful thing. But you also need to take a step back and analyze, well, should I just not take the 2 steps to the left so then I can walk through the wall? Right? Or should I just continuously head first? Right? And what I'm explaining this analogy based off of is you have a trading strategy right now, for example. That's probably sucks. Right? You have no discipline within your life, and you keep blowing funded accounts. Keep blowing funded accounts, not being able to get through the wall. If you were to just self-reflect and analyze on what is wrong with your trading strategy right now in your model based off collected data, why don't you have discipline in your life because you don't go to the gym or you don't do X, Y, and Z, and you have maybe discipline in some aspects of your life, but in other aspects in your life you don't have discipline. If you were to self-reflect, right, and then you fix those things, then you just take the 2 steps to the left and you walk right through with ease and efficiency. But you are the one that is making your life hard right now. You are the one that is coping about all of your problems. You are the one that is blaming all of these variable factors that have no correlation with you clicking a button at the end of the day. I'm not profitable because the conditions are so bad right now. You are a toddler and a child. That's how I view you. That is exactly how I view you. Right? And you could stay a toddler and a child throwing tantrums about things that have no correlation with you being angry and mad and shit about your life. Right? Or you can be a grown-up and a mature human being and say, well, I have problems right now in my life. Let me actively fix those problems, take advice from other people that have been in the shoes that I want to get into, right? And then from there, it just becomes, instead of going like this, 2 steps, right through. That's it. That's how easy it is. Be very, 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 very careful with the words that come out of your mouth and how you cope about certain things. Because if you're constantly just coping, I have this problem, I fucking suck. Cope. Paired with obviously a weak mindset as well. That's another very important one. I think that's a topic for another time, but I think in summary, a weak mindset as a whole, why would you allow yourself to have a thought process of you losing, right? Why would you have the thought process of saying to yourself, yeah, there's probably like a 50-50 chance I become a profitable day trader? Why would you lack the ability to have full self-belief in yourself? Like I mentioned, that's a topic for another video because I can go in depth for days about that. But you need to have this relentless mindset of just saying to yourself, I will win no matter what is happening in my life right now. Paired with the ability to self-reflect on whatever problems you're facing right now in day trading. I over-leverage, I overtrade, I blow a funded account, whatever your problems are right now, you need to self-reflect on your problems, create solutions to those problems, actively focus on those problems every single day, paired with learning a better trading strategy. Instead of this, it goes here. That's it. But you, right, have this relentless vision of just constantly showing up every single day, buying that next funded account because you know you're going to make it. That's a beautiful thing. I applaud you. That is awesome and amazing that you can have that because a lot of people fail at having that. But there's a difference, right? If you have that relentlessness, but you're not changing the actions that keep making you run into the wall, you're just going to keep running into it. Head on, face first. And it's gonna, the more you run into the wall, the more bruises you're gonna have, right? The more CTE you're gonna have, the more issues you're gonna have. And when I relate that into day trading is the emotional capital as well, right? You only have so much emotional capital. You can only blow so many accounts until you're like defeated. And you're just sitting there saying like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why is my life so fucking shit right now? You only have so many options, right? So if you now understand this, you know this deep down inside of yourself that, hey, I only have enough emotional trading capital. Emotional capital as a whole. Instead of just running on head first constantly, keep getting bruised, keep getting CTE, keep getting fucked in the head. Why don't you, right now, focus and self-analyze on whatever problems you are facing right now, create solutions to those problems, so that instead of just running into the wall and continuously injuring yourself, you could just take 2 steps to the left, run through straight ahead, and pass and surpass everyone. Everyone gets surpassed. That's the beautiful part too. I will tell you guys out of experience. Let me let this big ass plane pass me. I will tell you guys with experience, there is actively not a better feeling on the face of the planet Earth knowing you are doing something that everyone failed at. That is where my contentment comes from, at least. right? Some people will argue the fact that contentment comes from different things. I will argue contentment comes from, right, trying your best every single day, your relationship with God, right? And then number 3 is just surpassing everyone in all metrics. I am literally surpassed everyone in my age. There was probably 1,000 to 10,000 people in my age group that are doing the similar things that I'm doing, right? Out of the millions of 19-year-olds that are out there right now, there is probably 1,000 to 10,000 of them in the same group as me. That is the best feeling in the world. I will tell you guys right now with full honesty, I wake up so happy in my day-to-day knowing that I'm doing better than everyone else. And that might sound like an egotistical metric, but at the end of the day, I deserve to feel like that because I went through the trials and tribulations that everyone else failed to do. I went through blowing all the funded accounts. I went with the fucked mentality that I had. I went through all the depression that came with it. I went through all of these things, so now I can reap the benefit, right, of sitting there saying, I went through all of those things that were really fucking difficult, and now I'm sitting here in a top 0.00001 percentile of 19-year-olds. I deserve that and earn that right. And you all can earn that right by, instead of just doing this, you just take a step and 2 steps to the left and you go and pass with ease. And that's it. That is all you need. And all of your problems, every single one gets fixed. Your depression right now, your anxiety right now, your issues with your family right now, everything is solvable once you're there. I have literally no problem in my life right now. There is not. I am so grateful to God, and hopefully, knock on wood, nothing bad happens to me. I am so grateful for the life that I have right now. I love every aspect of my life. There isn't a single thing I could say that I hate about my life. And that is a really, really good feeling, I will say, out of experience. And everyone seems to be qualified now, right? I posted this video of just saying, like, hey, like 20, 30K a month is not going to make you happy. I replied to a comment. Someone said, 20 to 30K a month will make me so happy. The amount and increment of money you make on a month-to-month basis, it doesn't really affect you or do anything. Knowing you beat everyone at everything, that's a different feeling. That's a feeling like no other feeling. It's the best high on the face of the planet Earth. But you need to all be very careful once you get to that standpoint, because that's where you get tested the most. You get tested with temptation to see if you are deserving of staying at that top high percentile. I kind of went on a tangent there that has no reflection or correlation with the YouTube title for the last 10 minutes, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. Because there is truly no other feeling that I'm feeling right now. I feel like I'm on crack cocaine. Right? I see why people now, when they get to my shoes, start doing crazy shit, because it's just a crazy feeling, right? Work hard and then you play hard and then you're making so much fucking money and you want to do coke and shit. I understand why people do these things now. I will never do them because I'm a God-fearing man. I don't do all that stupid shit, but I understand it now. So you all need to, when you get to where I am, right, and you all will if you genuinely try your best every day, be very careful with all the temptation that comes with this world. You will get tested. 1,000,000%. I have gotten tested so much recently, and you will get tested. So don't fall victim to all the sins in this world. Anyways, my friends, that's going to be today's psychological lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I love you guys. I will go ahead and see you guys in the next psychological lecture. By the way, I'm going to start posting trade breakdowns a little bit more. I know I've been slacking on them. I've been basically cooking the markets. I'm on a 6-day green streak right now, so I will get to the trade breakdowns eventually. Anyways, that being said, I love you guys. Please kill and enjoy this week. Do your best. Try your genuine best. Get after it. You only have so many weeks, bro. You don't have that much time. Kill it. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.